It's just kind of who I am. I want to pour into my team as much as possible, and I'm pretty in tune with my body. I can read a room pretty well, and so when I see we're lacking a little bit, you got to step up. But if we're good, you're just there to encourage and give people confidence.
Everyone assumed they knew why Sophie Cunningham had joined the Indiana Fever. Keep Caitlin Clark safe. Act as the enforcer. Protect the novice. However, what Cunningham recently said contradicts what we previously believed to be true about their collaboration. This deal wasn't made at random. It took 6 years to create this. Furthermore, no one could have predicted the depth of Cunningham's motivation for fighting to be Clark's bodyguard. February of 2025. The league was rocked by the Fever's action. The message was unmistakable when they acquired Sophie Cunningham from the Phoenix Mercury. Cunningham was about to become the most talked-about enforcer in women's basketball, and Clark needed a bodyguard. On paper, the move made perfect sense. It had been a terrible debut season for Clark. Kennedy Carter's shoulder check, which knocked her to the ground. The blind scream that crushed Breanna Stewart during a pivotal possession. Clark was left sprawled on the court after Ari McDonald's risky three-pointer closeout. On a little break, Diamond DeShields ran her over as if she didn't exist. The referees continued to turn a blind eye while the hits continued. In just her first month, Clark received the third highest number of fouls in the league, 46. Every week, Coach Christy Sides would send video recordings to the WNBA offices, pleading with them to take action. Nothing was altered. The league needed someone who would take action rather than merely whine about the treatment. Sophie Cunningham comes in. However, at the time, no one was aware of this. This acquisition was not merely strategic. For more than a year, Cunningham had been preparing for this moment. She battled for the role, not just accepted it. You can see why the Fever desired her so much when you consider her past. Taekwondo black belt at age 6. She wore it with pride even though her parents, who were also her teachers, gave it to her as a joke. When the team starter tore his ACL, the high school football kicker went 2 for 4 on field goal attempts. Her kindergarten parents expressed dissatisfaction over her excessive aggression and roughness on the soccer pitch. This woman was made for battle, not for basketball. She worked her way from a second-round draft pick to a dependable starter averaging double digits over her 6 years in Phoenix. She was aware of what it takes to be successful in this league. She was now using all of her expertise to defend the most closely watched athlete in WNBA history. However, Cunningham's path to that point reveals everything about her mindset. She became Missouri's all-time top scorer. 129 career starts with an average of 17 points, 3 assists and 4 rebounds every game. She guided the Tigers to 4 straight trips to the NCAA tournament. She was the only player in the country to average 17 points, 200 rebounds, 83 pointers, and 150 free throws during her final season. She was selected to the first team of the All-SEC 3 times. The hometown hero who dominated the conference was named an AP All-America honorable mention twice, but despite her success, she had to contend with the perception that she was aggressive, petty, and filthy. In South Carolina, she was jeered by fans. Her fire was questioned by others. She remained the same. She found success in the WNBA by continuing to be herself. Cunningham had to fight for every minute of playing time after being selected 13th overall in 2019 as Phoenix's first pick in the second round. She worked hard for years to achieve a starting role. It wasn't given to her. She nearly failed in her freshman season. That year, the Mercury selected 3 rookies, and Cunningham was unexpectedly put into a position for which she wasn't convinced she was prepared due to veteran injuries. She gave every possession her all, sprinting the lanes, blocking out, and moving her feet on defense, all of which were commended by coach Sandy Brondello. Her shot wasn't dropping, though. Cunningham went out one night while battling the illness. She was unable to miss it. Coach stated she had to call in a substitute because she was dying out there from playing so hard. Cunningham is just that. She has no idea how to coast. 2022 was her breakthrough year, averaging 12, 4 and 6 points. 20 of 28 games were started, and he pulled down 4 rebounds. Against Minnesota, she scored 36 points, including 7 three-pointers and 5 steals, setting a career record. After one outstanding performance, Natasha Cloud complimented her, adding, "What Sophie does won't always show up on the box score." On both ends of the court, she comes down and plays hard during every possession. Cunningham is hardly a star, but he is crucial to winning basketball games. She was essential to Phoenix because of her hustling plays, timely threes, gritty work, and positive energy. With her unparalleled clutch gene, she became the X factor, the sixth starter, and the player who accomplished everything that didn't make highlights yet won games. Cunningham finished with a career-high 21 points on 6 three-pointers in the 2021 playoffs after scoring 12 points in the third quarter alone to start a comeback against the New York Liberty. With just over a minute remaining, she made a dagger three to put Phoenix back ahead in an 83-82 victory. Kahleah Copper had 38 points in 2024, but Cunningham made the crucial threes in the closing minutes to help the team defeat Atlanta 88-85. She was so vital that coach Nate Tibbetts referred to her as the sixth starter since she could switch games without touching the ball for extended periods of time. She delivered when her number was called. Each and every time. Time travel to June 17, 2025. The game that instantly made Cunningham famous was Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever. During a heated argument, J.C. Sheldon jabbed Clark in the eye, and something inside Cunningham broke. The WNBA season's most viral moment came next. Cunningham went into full enforcer mode, jawing at the Suns' bench, going between players, getting in faces, and making it very evident that anyone who touched her star would face penalties. Tensions erupted, the benches were empty, and the internet went berserk. She went from having 300,000 TikTok followers to just 1.4 million in a few days. In a matter of hours, her shirts were sold out nationwide. The video was often shown on sports networks. People were no longer merely observing Clark. They were observing her guardian. Officially, the enforcer position was now commonplace. Everyone wanted to discuss about Cunningham's story. However, defending Clark on the court was only the start. The league was divided over what Cunningham did next. She pursued the commissioner on her own. The WNBA spokesperson, Cathy Engelbert, allegedly told players at meetings that Caitlin Clark should be appreciative of the platform the league provided her, as if Clark owed the WNBA something for letting her play. Cunningham would have none of it. She referred to Engelbert as the most naive leader in professional sports on Instagram. She didn't hesitate. Cathy wrote that C is the only reason people know her. The shots were deliberate, direct, and intimate. Cunningham provided unquestionable numbers to support his claims. During her debut season, Clark participated in 21 of the 24 games that drew more than 1 million viewers. The Clark effect was a major factor in the WNBA's $2 billion media agreement, which gave the league previously unheard of exposure. Sales of tickets surged. Products were flying off the shelves. And the commissioner was behaving as though Clark owed them? Cunningham ensured that everyone was aware of how outdated that sounded. The repercussions didn't concern her. She expressed what was necessary. Consider the real contributions Clark made to the league. With 3,151 points, she surpassed Pete Maravich's all-time Division I scoring record. She became the first player in the history of either the men's or women's NCAA tournament to record a 40-point triple-double. The first player in the women's competition to lose back-to-back 40-point games. The only player in the first division to reach 3,000 points, 1,000 assists, and 800 rebounds. She guided Iowa to consecutive national championship contests. 18 people attended the Tooth I-24 title game, the most watched women's collegiate basketball game ever, with 9 million viewers. Her jersey overtook Shatter Sanders as the best-selling collegiate athlete clothing on Fanatics. Her NIL valuation reached $3, making her the first collegiate athlete representative in State Farm's history. 4 million. The most among female collegiate basketball players. The whole ticket schedule for Iowa's women's basketball team was sold out, earning $26 million. The greatest in recorded history. She was more than just a basketball player. She permanently altered the game. After that, she joined the WNBA and continued to rule. Cunningham earned Rookie of the Year, became the first rookie to achieve a triple-double, broke the rookie scoring record, set single-game and single-season assist marks, and made the All-WNBA first team. However, the league pretended to praise her, but Cunningham saw right through it. She went to war with the commissioner because of this. She spoke up when no one else would because of this. Cunningham's hallmark move was to criticize officiating. During her debut season, Clark was the most vocal person criticizing the referees in interviews and on social media. She often publicly criticized officials for failing to shield Clark from needlessly aggressive play. Week after week, the contentious no calls continued to mount. Hard fouls went unpunished. Playing dangerously was dismissed as normal touch. Cunningham persisted in speaking up, even when doing so jeopardized her personal reputation. She argued with the referees and accumulated technical fouls. She was unconcerned. Months ago, former NBA enforcer Joakim Noah had predicted that the Fever was in dire need of someone just like Cunningham, someone who would actively protect Clark from the insanity that surrounded her every game rather than just play alongside her. Cunningham accepted that job wholeheartedly, regardless of the implications. She took on the role of the voice that Clark was unable to have, the seasoned speaker who could express what the novice had to keep to herself. But there were other aspects of their relationship besides arguments and disagreement. A sincere friendship between Clark and Cunningham emerged in the most unlikely places, such as when Clark made fun of Cunningham on Instagram for spelling for while playing golf. In response, Cunningham laughed and referred to herself as a moron. Just two pals making jokes, no ego, no defensive stance. At the Anika Pro AM tournament, they caddied together, laughing and cursing as if they had been friends for years rather than just a few months. They were seen on tape enjoying one another's company outside of the basketball court in candid times. Both the friendship and the enforcer persona were genuine. They weren't only teammates acting for the cameras. They were genuinely fond of one another. They spent time together. They sent each other texts. They created something genuine, which enhanced the authenticity of the protection. Cunningham wasn't standing up for Clark because she was instructed to by management. She was standing up for her pal. Beyond merely defending Clark, Cunningham was unafraid to question authority. She openly questioned the expansion cities chosen by the WNBA, pointing out Philadelphia, Detroit, and Cleveland as dubious choices for the expansion of the league. Cleveland's social media team responded forcefully, sharing a video of Clark complimenting their city and essentially denouncing Cunningham as a hypocrite. Cunningham, however, refused to back down. She had previously demonstrated that she wasn't scared to pursue the commissioner. Why would she be afraid of a social media team? Fans adored her for her audacity, which became a part of her brand. She expressed the thoughts of other players who were too afraid to speak up. She turned into the athlete who didn't give a damn about the league office's approval. Being truthful was important to her. And that genuineness struck a chord with individuals in a league that frequently felt unduly political and controlled. Fans who wanted unvarnished perspectives on what was actually going on in the WNBA had to listen to her podcast, Show Me Something. This is where the tale takes a completely unexpected turn. Cunningham was already a huge fan of Caitlin Clark before she even wore a Fever shirt, and the deal was even a rumor in league circles. Cunningham stated on camera in 2024 that she would love to play alongside Clark someday while still donning a Phoenix Mercury outfit. In an interview, she emphasized, "I'm a huge fan, and I never say that about anyone." After the transaction was completed, her agent did not tell her to abandon this well-crafted PR line. This was sincere appreciation from a seasoned athlete who was witnessing a college standout rule the game. Cunningham observed Clark's games at Iowa. She examined her range, court vision, and handles. She noticed something unique. The job of enforcer that everyone discusses? Before anyone knew it existed, Cunningham desired it. She went after it. She brought it to life. The deal, which appeared to be Indiana's front office's pure basketball strategy, was actually what Cunningham had been hoping for. She didn't simply take on the role of bodyguard. She asked for it outright. Take a moment to consider that. A 6-year veteran of Phoenix, she just signed a contract extension until 2025 because she was passionate about the team and Matt Ishbia's vision for it. Someone who considered Phoenix to be her home away from home. Nevertheless, she seized the chance to play with Clark. That's not typical. Typically, players don't push their way off teams. They enjoy serving as a rookie's bodyguard. Cunningham, however, did. Because the role had nothing to do with this. It had to do with the player. Before the $2 billion deal and the world caught up, she had faith in Caitlin Clark. Before all of it, before the sold-out venues, Cunningham wanted to be a part of it because he recognized the celebrity coming. That's the true tale that no one is discussing. For the majority of Diana Taurasi's Phoenix career, Cunningham served as her backup. One of the best people in history taught her how to do it. She learned from DT how to persevere through the highs and lows and remain prepared. How to handle the mental games that accompany prolonged combat. 2 or 3 years into her career, Cunningham eventually made her way into the starting lineup, and she never took it for granted. She understood what it was like to wait and wonder if someone would ever call your number. She also made the most of her shot. She could therefore relate to Clark's experiences with pressure, scrutiny, and physical play. Throughout her career, Cunningham had to contend with accusations that she was petty, violent, and nasty. Nevertheless, she continued to be herself. She also knew exactly what to do when she witnessed Clark receiving similar treatment. Get to your feet. Retaliate. Defend at all costs. You can learn all you need to know about her trip from her time in Phoenix. With the exception of Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner, she was the team's longest-serving player after 6 seasons in the Valley. She had witnessed both the finest and worst of the Mercury. She has experienced drama, ownership changes, coaching changes, and roster changes. She remained prepared the entire time. She continued to work. She developed into the player that every contender desired, a guard who could play a variety of roles, a sharpshooter who made timely shots, a hustler who completed all the dirty work, and a skill set that any championship team would want. And she didn't think twice when the chance to play with someone she truly admired presented itself. This is the twist that has everyone on edge. In 2025, Cunningham